Hello and welcome to Homestead Road Weekly News. I'm Devin Walton and this is your Minnesota housing update for the first week of October 2025. We've got 6 great stories here that matter to homeowners, buyers, and anyone following Minnesota's real estate market, from sales rebounds to public housing, reinvestment, and key policy updates. So let's get into it. Right here in the Twin Cities, home sales are rebounding with easing rates. Home sales are showing new life as mortgage rates have eased slightly. After climbing close to 7% earlier this year, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage has cooled to just around 6.3% here in early October. Axios reports that this dip is bringing more home buyers back into the market, increasing closings and late September, early October sales. We're not in a boom, but what we are seeing is confidence returning to the market. Sellers who stayed patient throughout the summer are now finding motivated buyers again looking at their homes. My expert thought here is the key is balance. Buyers move fast, but be smart. Rates can shift weekly, actually daily. Sellers understand that accurate pricing and presentation are still the winning formula. Buyers, make sure you're getting pre-approved now. We've talked about this before. Get to your lenders. If you haven't select one, find one. If you don't have a realtor yet, find one. They'll recommend a great partnership for you. And get that done because rates are holding steady, but we don't know for how long. Sellers, renew and refresh your listings. Refresh the marketing. Clean your homes up a little bit more. Ready for the fall season here. Lots of leaves and debris. Keep those cleaned up and stay adaptable. Our second story today involves Minnesota's high HOA and condo fees, and they're coming under scrutiny. Now, homeownership costs don't always end with just a mortgage. Minnesota ranks in the top 10 for the highest HOA and condo dues, even though only about 16% of our homes are part of associations. Axios reports that average dues continue to climb, adding hundreds of dollars per month for many Minnesotans. A state mediation office was created to handle disputes, but reforms to improve transparency and budgeting practices didn't pass this session. My expert thought here is HOA fees can really make a home appear affordable on the outside, but become a strain over time. Those dues can continue to climb due to repairs, due to management changes, all sorts of reasons, and you really have no control over them. The smartest buyers are those who really dig into those association budgets before they sign anything and ask questions. Ask your agent for help and advice on those angles. Buyers, make sure you're always requesting those HOA financials and reserves. And HOA boards, make sure you're communicating your budgets clearly. Stay proactive with repairs and try to avoid costly surprises to both you and your residents. Story number 3 today involves Gen Z buyers and how you can buy a home at age 24. So the Gen Z generation is really starting a new model for everyone. One Minnesota couple is proving that homeownership is still possible. This 24-year-old bought a home in Coon Rapids. He and his fiancée just purchased a $395,000 home after years of focused savings. Business Insider reports they budgeted tightly, avoided luxury rentals, and used first-time buyer programs to make it work. My expert thought here is Gen Z buyers are rewriting the playbook. They're disciplined, they're patient, and they're tactical. And that's a powerful combination. Young buyers, set yourself a target. Track every expense that you have and start saving early. Start planning early for homeownership. Sellers, tailor your listings to showcase affordability and modern amenities that appeal to first-time homeowners. Our next story involves a large approval by Minnesota Housing. So $53 million was recently approved by Minnesota Housing in grants. So $53 million in grants to repair 32 public housing sites across the state. Now, according to Finance and Commerce, the funds will address old roofs, plumbing, and accessibility while adding energy-efficient upgrades. Now, for families in public housing, this means better living conditions and safer spaces, a much-needed reinvestment in communities statewide. My expert thought here is infrastructure repairs in public housing, they do create ripple effects. They improve community pride, and local property values over time tend to increase. Residents, stay informed about your property's upgrade timeline. Advocates, ensure funds are spent transparently and reach the neighborhoods and projects that need it the most. Our next story today is pretty big. It involves a proposal to end Minnesota's mortgage interest deduction. A major debate is brewing at the Capitol. Should Minnesota end its state mortgage interest deduction? The Minnesota Reformer reports that this tax break primarily benefits high-income households, leaving lower-income buyers with very little relief. Advocates suggest redirecting those funds to affordable housing programs, down payment aid, or direct subsidies for new homeowners could be a better alternative. So my expert thought here is this could reshape how the state supports homeownership. Instead of indirect incentives, we'd be helping those most in need. But any change must protect current owners too. So homeowners, talk to your advisors about potential impacts of this change. Policymakers, aim for reforms that make housing fair and accessible for everyone. Our last story today is a pretty good one. Minnesota Real Estate Hall of Fame 2025 inductees. So the Shanahan Center for Real Estate at the University of St. Thomas has announced the 2025 class for the Minnesota Real Estate Hall of Fame. This year's inductees include Chuck Lutz, Kelly Lindquist, Pat Ryan, and Sid Bader. Leaders whose work shaped neighborhoods, affordable housing, and urban development across the state of Minnesota. Their legacies remind us that real estate is about much more than transactions. It's about building communities and opportunity. So if you're in real estate, follow their careers for lessons in vision, leadership, and long-term impact. So that's it for this first week of October, this edition of Homestead Road Weekly News. So we've covered the impact of easing rates on home sales, the rising fees at HOA and condos, how young buyers can get involved in home ownership earlier, housing repairs, policy debates, and industry leadership, all shaping Minnesota's housing future. So if you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe. Next week, we'll explore suburban growth and green construction trends. I'm Devin Walton, your expert here at Homestead Road, and thanks for watching. As always, stay grounded on Homestead Road.